Last time on Hakai, at the meeting at Zenos Palace, we learned that the Celestial Mages were initially sealed away by Pikkon by using Super Shenron. He wished for a container powerful enough to hold them. We then found out the Mages attacked during a period the Guardians gathered to refuel the sealing box, a moment where they would be most weakened and vulnerable. We resume our story right as Beerus found himself having an outburst at the fact Pikkon neglected to tell him that one of their foes controls the body of his former master.
This video is brought to you by...
Beerus screams, "You'd better give me a very convincing explanation for why you didn't tell me about an enemy who has the appearance and memories of my master, or I'll make you pay for it!" Not taking this outburst lightly. Pikkon isn't the only one. The Grand Priest requests Lord Beerus not threaten their guest. As one of the Zenos chimes in, "If he does that again, should we kill him?" The other responding, "Yes, that sounds good." Encouraging the cat to mind his manners next time, he bows and pleads for the Zenos' forgiveness for the offense. But now that Beerus mentions it, Goku also has a question. Hadasu had an identical outfit to the one Pikkon's wearing. The Saiyan thinks he said something about a guy named Anzen too. The same name the Guardian brought up before. Pikkon lowers his head. About that, a strange event occurred. After the attack, we found all the bodies of the slain Guardians scattered throughout the fortress. We made count of the confirmed deaths. After this, I saw Brajin kidnapping Zeno. I then realized her appearance was identical to one of the fallen Guardians. This caused me to question the authenticity of the corpses we found. Beerus piping up, "And you never thought to tell us about this. While we were on our way to my planet, you spoke to me about Terran. Why wouldn't you think to tell me my master's body could have been used by the enemy?" Pikkon answers, "At that moment, it was impossible for me to know that Terran's body was being used. Everything happened so quickly from Zeno's kidnapping to the Mage's attack for the cocoons. It was during that time we could investigate the matter of the deceased. While I went after Janemba's cocoon, and one of the Guardians went after the cocoon containing the dormant power of Majin Buu. Another Guardian stayed at the fortress to examine the bodies, and it was at that moment he discovered that among the Guardian corpses, 5 were fake." "How can a fake corpse be possible?" Destroyer U1 beckons. "Easily enough, this was the doing of Zorki, Great Mage of Illusions." Pikkon tells, he has the power to create nearly perfect illusions. When we saw our deceased comrades, we couldn't tell some of them weren't real. When I discovered the body Brajin was using, I asked one of the Guardians to conduct a more careful analysis using some magical elements from the Guardians. He managed to uncover the fake bodies. The analysis was only completed after the Mage attack, so before that, it was impossible for me to know that Terran or even Master Anzen had been used as hosts for the Mages." That's when Jin thinks of a question himself. "One thing I don't understand is the reason the Celestial Mages stole the Guardians' bodies. Why didn't they keep their original bodies?" And that's because the sealing magic Pikkon used caused their souls to be sealed. After that, their bodies were destroyed. Clarifying, Velez wonders after being released, they inserted their souls into the bodies of the slain Guardians. But how did they do that? A kind of special magic? Answering, in the realm of Zarat, there's a special type of magical earring that some gods possess. These earrings are called the kotara. They are divine artifacts, much like the time rings and Patara earrings the Kaioshin of that realm have. These earrings grant the ability to merge completely distinct beings, and using them, the Celestial Mages were able to merge their souls with the bodies of the Guardians. Ever the talker, Campari translates from Moscow. He asks if there's any difference between these earrings in the realm of Zara and the Patara earrings of this realm. And there are many differences. To begin with, there's a distinction between the concepts of fusion these earrings provide. The fusion caused by the power of the Patara is a true merging, where two beings combine to create a new one. The earrings in the realm of Zarat, on the other hand, function as a possession, allowing one being to literally take control of another. Possibly speaking for the audience here, Quatella thinks this is getting too complicated and requests Pikkon explain how it works in practice. Happy to give an example. If I wanted to fuse with Beerus and he used the kotara earrings, we would transform into a new being. This being would be more powerful than us if the fusion succeeded, and it would have our abilities and possibly other unique characteristics. But if I wanted to fuse with him using the kotara earrings, my soul would simply take control of Beerus's body. I would keep his appearance, but keep my own power, thoughts and all. Belmont excitedly asks if this means the mages aren't adding and multiplying their powers with the possessed guardian's power. Roshi utters, "That's good. It's already a big problem to face them with their original powers. If we had to face them with amplified powers, it would be catastrophic." Again with the questions, Goku. Adasu said he wasn't using his full power in our fight, and that his power is still very limited. What does that mean? When the possession process is carried out, initially, the one doing the possession doesn't have full adaptation of the body of the one being possessed. This happens because it takes some time for the body and soul to become fully unified, especially if there's resistance from the soul of the one being possessed. Until the body and soul are completely in sync, the original power of that soul is limited. It's probably the reason the Celestial Mages took a while to launch their first attack. They were so weakened by their new bodies they wouldn't have been able to fight a high-level battle against the gods here. And this is probably why they're waiting another 6 months for the final battle, as Son Goku reported Adasu revealed. The Universe 7 Destroyer questioning what he means by resistance. Does he mean that Master Terran and the others are still alive and somehow resisting the mage's control? However, alive isn't the most appropriate word. But yes, in a way they can say that. The soul-body union provided by these earrings is dangerous, because if the process fails, the soul of the one attempting possession can be lost forever. And if the target has a strong spirit, they can repel the possession. For the union process to be carried out safely, there are only 2 ways. The first is for the one being possessed to accept the possession peacefully. That certainly isn't the case here. And the second is for the one being possessed to have their spirit very weak, to the point of not being able to offer significant resistance to the invader. In this second case, possession through the earrings must be done in a near-death state, where the possessed is still alive, but with a spirit so weak they can't resist, as the Guardians were certainly near death at the moment the mages were released. Tired out from refilling the battery, of course. They managed to safely carry out the possession. But what will happen to the bodies of the possessed if these invaders are expelled? Beerus snarls. At this point, both the bodies and souls of the Guardians are at the limit of their life energy. The only thing keeping them from losing their life energy completely is the presence of the Mage's souls. If the Mage's souls leave their bodies, they will inevitably die. Beerus points out the horrible situation these Guardians are in. Either they're kept as slaves forever or they die. Liquor believes they've talked enough about what happened in the past and they should now focus on the future. What do the Mages intend to do from now on? What'll happen in 6 months? Pikkon states, "You already know the Mage's goal is to bring Zarat back to life, right? Well, there are 2 steps left for them to achieve that. First, gathering all 5 great primordial beasts, which are the parts into which Zarat was divided. To unite all, they still need Majin Buu and Janemba, so obviously they'll come after these beasts in the future. The Guardians are the one who possess this pair." This is the first step, right? And the second? There's a whole process required to free Zarat. I won't explain all the details, mainly because I and the other Guardians don't know much about it. But what we do know is this process involves gathering an immense amount of energy. This energy will be used to both free the still imprisoned beast and perform some kind of ritual that will unite them and bring Zarat back. Goku remembers when Babidi wanted to free Majin Buu on Earth. He also needed to gather a lot of energy. Pikkon points out, the Majin Buu that was released in Universe 7 actually represented an insignificant percentage of the original Majin Buu's total power. That was certainly the limit of whoever released him at that time. And I imagine the cocoon he was placed in was also a copied and much inferior version of Majin Buu's original cocoon. In short, you think a lot of energy was needed to release Majin Buu on Earth. Consider that thousands of times more will be needed to release the original Majin Buu. And that goes the same for all the other beasts that are still sealed. And how will the mages accumulate such energy? Arak asks. Goku remembers that on Earth, Babidi did it through battles that the planet's fighters fought against the subordinates and each other. Pikkon confirms. Indeed, that's exactly what the mages intend to do. However, these battles will be on a multiversal scale. With the villains putting our heroes in check, how many moves away are they from a total checkmate? Will the Guardians and Destroyers find a way to stand up to this threat, or will their efforts be all for naught?